Port Adelaide played host to the Eagles at Alberton Oval, fielding their youngest side of the season with 10 players under 16 years of age. Goal-kicking efficiency has been one of the Magpies' strengths this season, but some easy shots were missed during the first half. Port went in at half-time leading by 14 points, and when they kicked the first 2 goals of the third quarter, things were looking promising. However, the Eagles moved into top gear and rattled on 7 unanswered goals to lead by 20 points at three-quarter time. The Eagles were very strong around the ball, and the Magpies got smashed around the stoppages. The Eagles regained Matthew Appleton from the reserves, and for the 5th time this season, he collected 40 or more possessions. The on-baller tallied up 15 clearances, 6 inside 50s and slotted a goal. Matthew Carey, playing as a deep forward and second ruckman, also provided a target, finishing with 5 goals from his 19 possessions. His 4 contested marks and 4 goals in the third quarter provided the spark for the Eagles to start taking control of the game. James Batty also deserves a mention for his 5 goals from 19 possessions and 7 tackles. Eagles coach Shane Grimm was also pleased with the efforts of on-baller Sam Rowland, who racked up 24 possessions, had 4 clearances as well as bagging a goal. For the Magpies, coach Gillian Farkas was very impressed with Matthew Williams, who was hard at it all day, whether at half-forward or on the ball, in gathering 24 possessions. Jake Johansson from Henley High was the state under-16 MVP in the recent carnival. He also collected 24 disposals and bagged 2 goals. Travis McIntyre was in at it again this week, gathering 19 possessions, laying 10 tackles, gaining 4 clearances and capping it off with a goal. The Eagles further extended their lead in the last term, running out comfortable winners by a margin of 33 points. South Adelaide made the very long trip from Noarlunga to Elizabeth for what was essentially the Wooden Spoon Grand Final. The Panthers were primed for the contest and got out of the blocks with a 7-goal first term that set up a match-winning lead. South coach Kim Cobb has been impressed by the attitude and commitment of his players, particularly over the last month. Finally, the Panthers are reaping some reward for their efforts. Jack Sutton, who underwent knee surgery at the start of the season in just his 2nd game, was impressive playing up forward and rotating through the centre. His 3 goals for could just as easily have been 6 goals won. 25 disposals, 6 marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances and 5 inside 50s is a good day at the office. Saxon Albon was also very busy in the midfield and up forward, gathering 21 possessions, 5 tackles, 4 clearances and a goal. Brock Godwin, not playing at full forward and having a run in the ruck, provided a real target, finishing with 2 goals. South skipper Billy Hogben has displayed great leadership both on the track and on match day, racking up 22 disposals, 4 tackles, 4 clearances and a goal in a great reward for effort. Coach Cobb made special mention of the efforts of Lockie Burns, an under-16 lad playing out of the back pocket and across half-back. He rarely gets beaten in a one-on-one contest and provides rebound out of defence. For the Bulldogs, the pleasing thing for coach David Harvey was the way his young players kept at it and slowly managed to peg back the 5-goal deficit during the second half. Dallas Hill proved to be a real target at full forward. He had an outstanding game, 25 possessions, 11 marks and 8 goals. Jackson Baldwin, playing in the centre and across half forward, is always a consistent performer. 23 disposals, 7 marks, 5 tackles and 5 clearances is a solid day's work. Jack Huggard, hailing from the Golden Grove Football Club, playing as a rover and across half forward, got the coach's award for doing all the right things. 16 disposals, 9 marks and 3 goals was a good result. Coach Harvey made special mention of Dominic Costanzo, an under-16 back pocket player who continues to develop nicely. He has a great football brain and reads the play well. In the end, the Panthers hung on for a well-deserved victory by 11 points and have finally lifted themselves from the bottom of the premiership table. Sturt made the trip down to the Bay to take on Glenelg and were fortunate to get first use of the breeze, which they used to advantage to set up a 27-point lead at quarter time. However, once the Tigers got the wind at their backs, the forward entries were deep, direct and quick, and they unleashed a 9-goal second term to lead by 11 points at the long break. For the Double Blues, the move of Dwayne Wilson into the centre after half-time was the catalyst for the Sturt game plan to work more effectively. He was instrumental in helping Sturt exert more pressure on the young Tigers, force some skill errors and gain a 7-point advantage at the last change. Double Blues coach Michael Borden dropped an extra player back in an attempt to stifle Glenelg's run home with the wind. Sturt full forward Brad Hartman turned out to be the game breaker. His 3 goals into the win in the last quarter being the difference. He finished with 4 goals in total. Sturt captain Jake Atkinson led from the front, inspiring his young teammates. 23 possessions, 15 marks and 31 hitouts was a lion-hearted effort. Jared Lynott racked up an amazing 31 possessions playing across half-back, running out of defence and setting up attacking opportunities further afield. Coach Borden was particularly pleased with the form of rover Tim Baccanello, who returned after 3 months out with a hamstring injury. He amassed 24 disposals, 3 tackles, 4 clearances, 5 inside 50s and 2 goals. For the Tigers, Johnny Wilson is an overage player who returned from the reserves. Playing as an inside midfielder, he really knows how to find the footy. Some of his clearance work in the second quarter provided the spark for Glenelg's great play in that term. Josh Woodall again made the trip up from Mount Gambier, and the inside midfielder has an amazing work rate, with his big ticker and willingness to push himself to the point of exhaustion. Tyler Baker was a live wire across half forward, and his 3 goals all came in the second quarter. Tigers coach Adam Blakely was impressed with Luke Green, an under-16s player in only his 3rd game, who held down the key position of centre half-back. He competes really well and is growing in confidence playing at the next level. In the end, the Double Blues were too good for the Tigers, running out winners by a margin of 21 points. Third-placed West Adelaide faced up to top-placed Norwood under lights at the Richmond Oval, and the Bloods were in top gear from the word go. 4 minutes into the second quarter, they led the Redlegs by 8 goals to 0. Then the Norwood midfielders started to get their hands on the ball and hit some targets. Joe Zedow won some important clearances. Norwood started to kick longer and deeper, rattling on 7 goals to only trail by 3 points at the long break. The third quarter was a real arm wrestle, and the stronger bodies of the more experienced Norwood side started to exert pressure as some of Westie's younger, inexperienced players started to tire. The Bloods still had their nose just in front at 3-quarter time, however, everything set up for a do-or-die last quarter. For the Redlegs, Nick Denham was summoned from full forward to lead the ruck when their main ruckman dropped out of the side. 21 possessions, 20 hitouts and 5 goals as a ruckman was an outstanding performance. Mitch Wood played in the reserves earlier in the day and backed up in the evening for the Under18s. 8 quarters of football from the young giant shows he has a big heart and a strong engine. Josh Moyle, playing as a midfielder, ran hard all night and created opportunities. 36 possessions, 11 marks, 6 clearances and a goal. Adam Nunn, playing as an inside midfielder, also had a similar return. 36 disposals, 4 tackles, 15 clearances plus a goal. In the back half, Mac Bauer at fullback is an under-16 player, who at 190 centimetres is also very agile and very quick. He is the recipient of an AIS AFL scholarship and certainly has a bright future. Bauer's direct opponent, Jesse Watchman at full forward for the Bloods, is also an AIS AFL scholarship recipient. He finished with 6 majors. Sam Durden is another state under-16 player awarded an AIS AFL scholarship. He collected 15 disposals, 6 hitouts and slotted 2 goals. Another Mallee boy, Nick Hyde in ruck, put in a very competitive effort against his much bigger Nord opponents, getting his hand to 33 hitouts. In the midfield, Reece Smelt is an overage player from Flagstaff Hill who was in at it all night, collecting 26 touches, 7 marks, 6 clearances and a goal. In the end, Nord was too strong and they ran away from West in the last quarter, winning by a margin of 17 points.